And we got too much self-hate. It's too much. It should be no self-hate. But it's an abundance of self-hate within our communities, right? Based on the lies that are compiled on top of us from day one, from preschool, right? Sometimes within our own households, especially with the fact that a lot of parents are teaching their children about Santa Claus and bunny rabbits and laying eggs, and we know rabbits don't lay eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been lied to from day one, many of us. Now, I was lied to about the Easter bunny, but my mother never said it was no damn Santa Claus, period. You know what I'm saying? Never, ever, ever. We knew where those toys came from because we were playing with them before the winter solstice. We already knew where the toys were hidden before the winter solstice. And many times our mother took us to the Toys R Us and let us fill the baskets up and got whatever the fuck we wanted. So we never believed in the Santa Claus in my household, right? Yeah, we had the tree, with the 5-pointed star, at the top or whatnot, and nobody was telling us what that represented, right? But again, that's not an excuse, especially today when, you have this information at your fingertips. So again, Tory like to try to play slick, right? He want to try to sneak diss somebody and then turn around and say, well, no, I wasn't dissing him. I was just supporting Drake. But if you go back into, and these things I'm just not learning, because again, I told y'all multiple times, if it was a Tory Lanez song playing right now, I would not know it was the Lame of the Tory. I would just not know, because I'm not familiar with the guy music like that. So I had to familiarize myself in order to even do this presentation, this broadcast, right? This build. So what I found out is, again, he the type of person that likes to throw rocks and hide their hands, because in the past, Tory himself was attempting to shit on Drake. But when Drake gets into this beef with Kendrick and it was hot, he want to jump into it. You see what I'm saying? And big himself up and put himself in the middle of it. Well, hold on. How are you talking about you here to help Drake and represent Drake because y'all both from Canada, but in the past you was shitting on Drake? This not the real hip hop, y'all. This is just not. I'm just saying what it is. I mean, like it, don't like it, I don't give a fuck. It just is what it is. And again, if you can't take the French, like I'm from Dey-Twah, I speak mad French. Like if the French is bothering you, then you don't have to be here. I'm just gonna say what it is. But if you can deal with the French, like for real, if you can deal with the type of actual violence that takes place every minute after minute within our communities, you shouldn't have no big issue with the amount of French words that I use during these broadcasts. But can you turn that off? The heat. Yeah, it's hot up in this piece. It shouldn't be hot like that. So now this takes me back to the Super Bowl performance by way of Kendrick Lamar. Right? After the performance, there were a certain amount of people from the so-called conscious community who began to drag Kendrick Lamar. Making statements such as, well, he's being used and that was a propaganda tool and la 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 la, and we gonna bypass the fact that it was nothing but melanated people rocking with Kendrick Lamar doing that performance. I even heard some so-called conscious people mention the fact that, well, what about the Europeans in the audience? Like, they don't know any of those songs. What about, who gives a fuck about them? Year after year after year and decade after decade, you know what I'm saying? We've had to listen to name me some people. Who? Metallica, you know what I'm saying? Bruce Springsteen, or whoever they had performing before they began to bring the talented melanated artists on to the forefront and let them perform at the Super Bowl halftime. Ain't that what you call it? You see? You see how, like, come on, y'all. I'm not really, I'm not gonna let you get away with nothing because I don't let people slide. Sorry. You can, maybe patronize somebody else platform who let shit slide. I don't let shit slide. And again, it kind of depends on what it is as to whether or not I let it slide. But for the most part, that hasn't worked for me. Just letting shit slide. Whatever. Just let that. No. We have to address things that are being publicized. This is our mass media right here. This is our mainstream mass media right here. It seems not to be Fox and CNN and NBC, even though I'm not gonna front. In the morning, when I get up and I'm doing my hygiene rituals or whatnot, I put the phone on and I let the NBC nightly news play. But now that the brother, what's his name, Les something, he officially retired. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if I'll be listening to that in the morning or whatnot. But that's neither here nor there. I like to be informed, and there are times where I go through my little spells as to where I don't listen to any of the national news at all. And then sometimes on a daily basis, I'll listen to the news, right? I like reading a newspaper. A lot of people say, well, that's old school because most people don't read newspaper. I don't care what most people do. Most people suck butts. You see what I'm saying? I don't suck butts. So, just because most people say this or do this or do that, that has nothing to do with me. I like to read the newspaper. I like to still read magazines, right? I read the ingredients of things before I ingest them into my body. Like most people don't, and that's their preference and that's their choice. I'm not trying to influence you one way or another. The goal here again is to get rid of the false narratives, to put an end to the gender wars. Things like passport boys and the women who hate men and now they're asexual and all of this other shit. Again, all of these elements, if they continue to hit this growth spurt, it means that we as a people, the majority of us as a people, will be going against the grain of nature, which means that, again, we will cease to exist. If we have right now, let's just say this, right now, what we have is a growing number of our women and children who are being influenced by way of the elemental TPTFU group, right? And that is something that is totally against nature. Look, this is a fact. It does not mean that I am a hater of people who have a sexual preference that is contrary to my own, right? It doesn't mean that I hate those people. But again, who you are intimate with is your personal business. I should not even know. You know what I'm saying? That's your personal fucking business. That has nothing to do with standing on. You standing on business because you want everybody to know that, you do like this and you do like this. Like that, that's your business. That's your business. But again, being a melanated man, woman, or child, that is something that's, automatic. When I see you, we already know what it is versus your sexual preference, right? That is something that's not automatically known unless you express it, or if you out here with an Adam's apple, right? And you wearing apple bottoms. Which still, that maybe you think you like Prince, you like controversy or something. I don't know. Shit. But again, that's your personal preference. That whether or not, you are a male and you are attracted to males, I wouldn't know that unless you told me. If you are a female and you are attracted to females, I wouldn't know that unless you told me. But again, as a melanated man, woman, or child, all I have to do is look at you.